What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the physique update of the winning Mr. Olympia Derek Lunsford. So he has been pushing some serious weight with his trainer and his coach Hassan Mostafa. And I think this is something to be appreciated when it comes to Derek Lunsford and him as the leader of the pack. He stays super lean even when he is in the off-season phase. And this allows us to see the improvements that he has been making. So the added size is definitely going to be evident at the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, which by the way is happening this weekend. And what's gonna make this guest posing so memorable, especially for Derek, is this is his first time in Pittsburgh as the winning Mr. Olympia champion. And just because he isn't doing anything crazy to appear super hot and dry for the weekend, I think his quads and his overall proportions are gonna look absolutely crazy here. So out of the two Olympias that he did in the men's open bodybuilding, his quads weren't as big as they appear even just a couple of weeks out of the shoe. Because we have seen it in the past, every time he drops the water, he loses a lot of volume on his legs. And this has been on the agenda for Derek and Hassan Mostafa all this year. So Derek has already cemented his legacy as the only one in the Mr. Olympia history to have won the title in two different divisions. So the question is, how many more can he win? Personally, I think he is going to be the favorite to win this year's Mr. Olympia as well, especially based on this offseason, because he is looking so damn good right now. I mean, the guy is showcasing so much more thickness, more density, especially in his chest and his shoulders area. And also his conditioning is looking a lot better this time around. And it isn't like Derek is about to turn 40. He has plenty of time to bring up the chest and all his weak areas. And even if he gets a little bit better in that area, he's already so dominant in that front relax, the front double biceps, and the back double biceps. It is gonna be so hard to take him down. I think still the biggest threat to him is Hadi Choopan. Unless Andrew Jacked or Samson Dauda brings something totally unexpected and just shock the bodybuilding world. I think these two are again gonna fight for the top spot. But do let me know what you guys think. James Hollingshead's physique update is up next, keeping things very tight and very clean. And this time he's working with a new coach Stefan. So the Arnold Classic Ohio was a big test for James and also his potential. And I have to say he did a pretty good job at coaching himself and bringing his all-time best to the stage. And yes, I know James hired Milos. The thing is, he was doing his own thing, especially during those final 2 weeks. He was using his own protocols for the peak week. So top 5 at the Arnold Classic was a great accomplishment. But as for James Hollingshead, that was only like 85% of what he can really achieve. So for a guy like James Hollingshead, who doesn't have the most aesthetic build in the bodybuilding, and also a guy who likes thick round delts, and because of that, he cannot appear super wide on the stage. So at this point, it is a matter of balancing act, where he is conditioned as well as hard enough and really full, so that he can show the true density that he has. The kind of look that we saw from him when he was training with Branch Warren for the Arnold Classic Ohio. So he also could not train his quads as heavy as he normally does, and that was because of a knee injury. But this time off from the stage, that is gonna help him take care of that injury as well. And also use this time to connect with his new coach Stefan, because James himself put it out there that he isn't easily coachable. He does the final few weeks based on his own instincts. And that whole trial and error phase that he did post Arnold Classic UK, that was the first time during that period where he did not have any refeed or any cheat meals. And he looked more detailed and more conditioned than his actual prep. So James is gonna make a run for his Olympia qualification later during the year. Maybe one of the shows closer to the Olympia. And we will see how it goes. Because the closer we get to the Olympia, the harder it is going to be to get your Olympia qualification and win a pro show. Because more and more people are going to be attempting to get their Olympia qualification. And that happens every year when we are close to the Olympia. There is all gas and no brakes for Ramon, who looks not only huge, but really lean as well as he gets deep into the off-season. So that loss at the Arnold Classic Ohio against Wesley Weezers, that hit him pretty damn hard. Because it was completely unexpected. How can anyone would have predicted that a guy who placed 7th at the Olympia last year, that is gonna bring such an incredible package that is gonna beat all these guys, not once but twice, except for Ramon, who only did Ohio. No one expected that from Wesley Weezers. So that wasn't a good look for Ramon, as he pushed Chris Bumstead really hard at the Olympia 2023, and we were all expecting that Ramon is gonna close that gap even further this year. So if Ramon can still place second, beating guys like Breon Ansley and Urs Klashinsky, with only a prep of 6 weeks, while not being at his all-time best. And keep in mind, he lost that show just by 1 point to Wesley Weezers. Anyone who is gonna underestimate Ramon for this upcoming Mr. Olympia, and now that Ramon is taking all this time to get ready, I mean the guy is already in prep like 23 weeks out of the Olympia. So anyone who will take Ramon lightly, they're gonna be just delusional. I mean, Ramon has one of the best backs out there. He has a very good V-taper, the best abdominals out of all the guys who are there in the first call-out. And most importantly, he gets in an insane level of conditioning. So it is going to be a great classic physique Olympia this year. And most of us are very excited for this rematch between Ramon Dino and Wesley Weezers and see who is going to be actually the one challenging Chris Bumstead for the Olympia title. Hassan Mostafa's 5 weeks out physique update is next. So Toronto Pro is going to be the first show of the season for him. And I have to say a difficult one as well, because Akim Williams is going to enter that show as the favorite, after delivering what we can say was a phenomenal performance at both Arnold Classic Ohio as well as UK. So can we expect some significant changes in Hassan's physique this year? I'm going to say not very likely, because Hassan needs to be very careful on how much more muscle he can put on, how much more muscular he can get, without getting blockier, without blowing his waistline. Plus, this guy in terms of pure muscularity is one of the most muscular guy in the men's open right now. But the thing is, he lacks symmetry, he lacks the aesthetics, especially if we compare him to the likes of Akim Williams. Because Akim Williams is just as big, and he has a super small waist as well. He opens up real nice and wide during the front shots. So Hassan's biggest challenge every year is to get in an insane level of conditioning, to get truly shredded. Last year when he worked with Chad Nichols, he was really on for Toronto Pro, but he was far off in Orlando, where he lost to a guy like Phil Klahar. And that was a contest he should not have lost. So at the Olympia, he was again extremely impressive, and that is why he placed just outside of the top 10. So this year he is working with a new coach, who will have to figure out how his body responds, how his body works from the scratch. So let's just hope that he brings him on, and that too on his first attempt. Rubiel Locked, aka Naxilla, is now logged in for this upcoming Dubai Pro. If he is mentally really strong, this is the type of environment where Rubiel is gonna really thrive. The fans have waited way too long for him to step back on the stage, and this is finally gonna happen in less than 10 weeks time. So let's just hope that he doesn't grow his legs anymore, because that is the last thing Rubiel needs. All he needs is more separation in those quads, and thanks to a legendary trainer like Chris Cormier, who's gonna join Rubiel in Kuwait and train him for this show. I think we should all expect some significant changes in his physique. So Chris Cormier is very scientific, especially with his training, and he's gonna make sure that Rubiel's overall balance gets better, because that is the biggest knock on his physique. Because Rubiel is very much bottom heavy. So at 10 weeks out mark, that is a very good look for Rubiel. That is a great spot to be in. And I have to say, some people out there are still underestimating him. Because let me tell you guys, that much mass on the stage, and that kind of freak factor that Rubiel brings to the stage, if he gets in a great condition, that is gonna be so hard to ignore. And he's gonna beat some very big names this year. So his pro debut was very successful. And that is the package to beat here at Dubai Pro 2024. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.